Hello, everyone. Hi. Hello. It is I, Trooper SJP, and this
Name
is
game.
the name game. The name game. Come on, everybody. I said, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name. I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F. On M will appear. And then I say boo at a B. Then I say the name. Then banana, fanner, and foe. Then I say the name again with an F. Very plain. Then a fee, fi, and a mo. Then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Rissa, 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 Bobissa, Banana, Fana, Fofissa, Fee, Fi, Momissa. Rissa, the name game. Oh, hey, Rissa, 61 months. That's a long time. What's up with that? Happy, thank you for the resub and happy resub-anniversary, for the, to like one of my nearest and dearest. How y'all doing? I have got thoughts. I like the anticipation. But maybe the rain isn't really to blame. So I'll remove the cause, but not the symptoms. Bah! I see you, Krellin. Okay, look, so I have to tell you a bunch of things. And, I'm going to tell them to you.
We're in
I
the
did...
money.
Oh, well, I did want to check something because... I found it. I was like, where's my megaphone? Where did it go? But I found it, so it's okay. All right.
Name game.
I was worried there for a second, you know what I mean? Like, this was a very worrisome situation for me. But I have things I want to share with you, and some of them may be the name game. So, by the way, at this moment, I just have to pull up a tab or else I will forget this thing that I need to look at later. Great. Okay, so I'm just going to put... just pull up a tab. Great. Why do these cost so much? I don't need that for that. I just want like a cheap... Well, you know what? It's fine. I will look at it later. That's what I'll do. I'll look at it later. Anyhow, for a reason. I'll tell you later. I'll tell you after, after I don't know. What was it that I wanted to do right now? So unclear to me. What was it? What was it? Hi, Toy Boat. Oh, yes. I'm so glad to hear that Rufus is feeling much better. That is good. And also, thank you for the gift subs. I did... eventually, Trooper will work some bass baritone into that tune. Well, I mean... speaking of, I have gotten the grading done. Grading is all done. Students complained, not many of them, but one of them wanted to not get an F. That did not happen. And I do have a bunch of stuff I have to do before the weekend's out, like a bunch of stuff, because I've got to get the syllabus done for next semester's prison class because the Department of Corrections wants it super early. I've got like a little video I have to make. I've got a bunch of stuff to do. Also, I've got to go and do some errands because my local post office closes for the summer, so I can't get mail through the post office that I pay for. And I can only get it through the office, but the office is also not consistently open during this. Anyway, it's the troubles of living in a dorm when year-round, you know? Anyhow, that is not the point. The point is, yes, I've got many things to do, but I do now have all sorts of other things to tell you, and it's all y'all's fault. Also, I want to sing. But the thing I wanted to say, though, which was about singing and is now, it's a distraction, but Roller 300 said, eventually Trooper will work some bass baritone into that tune. And so here's the thing about that, Roller. I did want to say something about what you just said. And dear student, if you want to not get enough, you should admit a time machine that... So that's the thing. The student just didn't do the work, just did not turn in the work. And there's not much I'm going to do about that. You know what I mean? That's just kind of how that works. You have classes, so I'm sneaking some courses. Nice, good. Summer classes are good. Message from the player that doesn't have the range. Meg, a phone? Am I a bear? My most recent voice teacher called me a baritone. So I actually have a deeper voice than I sometimes sing in, you know? Trooper, by the way, Mark's birthday was yesterday. If you wanted to sing at him on Sunday. Oh, yes, I will. Thank you. I will indeed. Yeah, it's pretty obvious to me that the only way to fail your classes, yeah, basically, you just have to, like, if you just don't do the work, if you don't turn in 14 out of the 19 assignments, there's really not much I can do for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's not much I can do, I'm afraid. That's a bit 10 or 2 then, cool. Yeah, probably like a Barry 1 or 10 or 2, just like right around there. So, Roller, you said bass baritone. So the person who sings the song, The Name Game, is Shirley Ellis. And as a kid, I had a number, like, as a kid, I would get like random LPs that you would get from, I don't know where you got them. Certainly did not buy them new in a store because they were from the 60s. You know what I mean? Probably like getting hand-me-down LPs, you know, or some lot of LPs. Somebody's like, oh yeah, we're moving, here's a bunch of LPs. And they would get into the house and I would listen to a number of these LPs. And there were a couple that I really loved as a kid. One was, I can see the cover now. It was basically an LP full of like basically doo-wop and early 50s sort of stuff. It had what did it have on it? It had dancing along my merry way, singing a song, I will be gay, I found a love, and love is here to stay, whoa, whoa, whoa. That was dancing along, and they had like a bunch of, you know, just a bunch of songs. And then there was one, like, I think it was like Max Pewter or John Pewter's best picks from the 50s and 60s, right? That was like a 2 LP set. That was a very good one. But I had one that had, it might have been like a 78. It probably wasn't a 45. But it had another song. I'm going somewhere with this story. It had another song by Shirley Ellis of the Name Game fame. And that was Mr. Bassman. And that song I also loved very much by the same artist. And it was, Shirley Ellis would sing, you know, hey, Mr. Bassman, I really think you're something with a da-da-da-da-da and a ba-bum-ba-bum-bum-ba-bum-bum. Hey, Mr. Bassman, I want to be a bassman too, da-da-da-da, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And then the bass would go on, no, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. And it was just about her wanting to be like the bass singer in one of these kind of doo-wop groups. And then it was like between her and the bass singer would come in and go, now try this. And anyway, and then she would sing, but not in the bass range. Anyway, I love that song. I thought it was really fun. It made me very happy. And, you know, thanks for the hype train, everybody. And so that was like a song that always like stuck in my head as a youngin', that sort of Mr. Bassman song, which I loved.
We're in the money.
So, Toyboat said, what if I don't turn 11 out of 14? Would that get me a D? Depends on which ones they were. Maybe. Toyboat. Yeah. So I've done some, Atomic, by the way, I've got some singing to do. Atomica says, I've done some research into the uni I want to attend in the spring. Double majoring would take about 22 classes, but there are a ton of classes that fit both majors, so I should be able to reduce that to only 15 classes. I will note that you don't have to double major. majoring and minoring is fine as well. You can double major if you want to, but you don't have to. You can also just take the classes you want to take. Either way is fine. Uh, D for deep trouble. You can't handle the. They did that song. Did they? Oh, they did that song, The Muppets. Oh, that's cool. I don't think I saw that one. Max Pooter, I knew his brother from Ireland, Colm Pooter. The name is probably not what you said, but it's what I heard. It was something like that, maybe. Be right. It was like a. My guess, because there was no context, right? It was just some person, right, with their name. My guess is that he was some sort of radio DJ. This is my guess as a person who was a kid, right? My guess is he was a radio DJ and he put together a compilation of like late 50s, early 60s songs in this double LP. That's the only, because I had never heard of this person. I still have never heard of this person. I should probably see if I could find him. Anyway, so that's my guess, that he was some sort of radio DJ, I think. I could be completely wrong. That's just what I guessed as like a 13-year-old. Bum ba ba bum ba ba bum ba 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 bum bum ba ba bum ba ba bum ba 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 bum bum ba ba bum ba ba bum ba 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 bum bum. I am well. Am I doing well? Yes. That's the short answer. The short answer is yes, I'm doing well. The long answer is I have not done my workout for today. Just so you all know, full disclosure, after my stream today, I'm going to do my workout, and I may be a little late for Critical Role subsequently because of that. But I started my workout, my summer workout routine 2 days ago. So I did day 1 and day 2. Today's day 3, which I haven't done yet. And I'm doing a 21-day high-intensity interval training thing for 3 weeks, like 3 weeks. And then after that, I will do some weightlifting, and I'm planning on bicycle riding, which I'm going to do tomorrow. Anyhow, here's the thing that I need to tell you that is relevant to how I'm doing. Monday was the upper body routine. It was great. I was tired. I was like, oh, this is good. I worked out. Woo! And then yesterday was yesterday was leg day. And now I'm sad. I'm not emotionally sad. Emotionally, I'm fine. I'm just my legs are sad. So I'm doing well, but my legs are sad. I think that's the long and short of where I'm at right now. So yes, I'm doing well, but my legs, she are sad. That's that's the short answer. Atomic says, I've already done a lot of work in comm, but my goal is English. So I want to finish up the comm and do the classes that count for them both first, then concentrate on English to a PhD. If the workload isn't too much, I'll also try and masters the comm on the side. All right. Colm Pooter worked as some kind of server. Am I late on MITS? Is today MITS day? Oh, wait. Am I late on MITS? Okay. Krellin, I had a thought about that. I have responses to that question. Never skip a leg day. Yeah, Artie, my legs are a bit rubber, is where I'm at right now. So it's like, okay, so right now I'm sitting here with you. I'm sitting here with you, and I'm feeling pretty fine. If, however, I get up to go over there, I'll be like, oh, like that. So I'm just letting you know that my legs are a little rubber right now, but it's not a bad thing. Rissa is slightly vexed. Finally dipping into the BBC's The Lovecraft Investigations podcast, and episode 1 of The Whisper in Darkness is nowhere to be found. Oh, yesterday was MITS day. Okay, so here's the thing, Krellin. I got myself caught up the day before yesterday, I think it was. So remember when I said, hey, was the number 12 the last one? And you said, no, there have been more since then. And I checked, and they weren't on my podcast app yet. They hadn't dropped yet. But then 2 dropped in a row. And so I did listen to those. And I have to tell you, my goodness. Hey, y'all, I don't know if you know this. I have another thing to tell you. I don't know if you know this, but some of us are listening to the podcast Midst, which is currently produced by Critical Role. And I gotta tell you, it's really good. Like, it's really good. Yeah, I just finished 14, which is Shindig, and I don't know if 15 has come out yet. I'm gonna check because I feel like what has happened is that not all of the I feel like they were kind of late on my podcast app, so I just kind of want to see for the record. Anyhow, uh, that's weird. Sometimes, oh, I see what's happening there. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. I see. That's fine. That's fine. Anyway, let's see if it's in yet. If so, I would just like to say if y'all haven't followed Midst yet and started listening to it, I recommend it. It's very, very good. It's quality. And the last couple episodes, like that. Uh huh. Yep. 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 Uh, take solace in the song of the shaman. Knees are good. My bloody knees are good. Yeah. I think. Be right. I must have misheard that song all the time. I thought that was Ebenezer Good, but you know what? I thought all this time it was like a cheeky reference to ecstasy. But I found out now, today, in this moment, that I was wrong. It was actually about doing leg day workouts. That's now I know. Uh, I see you be right. It's out on YouTube. Oh, all right. Because I normally don't listen to it on YouTube. I normally just listen to it on the podcast when I'm riding a bike or something like that. Are they shifting it to a Beacon thing? Probably not, Artie. As far as I know, they're not going to be paywalling any of their main shows on Beacon. It's going to be like after shows and side shows, sort of like when Alpha was a thing. But it's also like 50 is it? Hey, is it the finale? That's my question. Uh, I listened to the weirdest two-part podcast I've heard in a while. Stone Cold Steve Austin interviewing Bill Burr. They spent 4 hours discussing how alike pro wrestling and stand-up comedy is. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. They've been soft promising that nothing is moving behind Beacon. Beacon will only have new exclusives. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I think for me, quick side note. So I've been using this pod mic for a while now. I don't know when I switched from my AT2020 to my pod mic. I think I'm going to switch back to the AT2020, everyone. I'm going to, when am I going to do that? I don't know. Will I do it before Traveler tomorrow? I don't know. Probably not, since I've got so much to do. But I might. We'll see. If I do switch back over to the AT2020, I'm going to have to rebalance everything. But I don't know. I just am not feeling it right now. I ran into yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I have been distracted from singing, but I'm going to because I've got the megaphone right here. But the reason I was about to sing, but then I had to think about the mic thing, and then also I've been doing a little bit of research on something that I might want to do for later. I might buy a new mic. I will surprise you if it shows up. So we'll see. But I've been thinking a lot about. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to my AT2020, see how I feel about it, see what I think about the sound, and see what I'm gonna do about. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I just wanted you to know it. The only thing is, the AT2020 is uh, a side address mic rather than a front address mic, which means it has to be like this. So this particular thing would have to be framed differently. So I'm going to ponder it. I'm going to see how I feel about it. Because right now, I don't think my voice is warm enough and I don't like it. So we will see what happens. I just wanted to say that before saying anything, that I'm feeling dissatisfied with the microphone that I've been using for a bit. That's all. Well, it might be a good season finale. I'm pretty sure this is the third and final season. And it was not a series finale. Oh, yeah, huh. Okay, so I did want to tell you all the name game. Come on, everybody. I said, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name. I treat it like it wasn't there.
Name game.
And then a B or an F. On M will appear. And then I say Bo at a B. Then I say the name. Then banana, fanner, and foe. Then I say the name again with an F very plain. Then a fee, fi, and a mo. Then I say the name again with an M this time. And there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Wizard styles, mo, Bizzard styles, banana, fanner, fo, fizzard styles, fee, fi, mo, mizzard styles. Wizard styles, juicy fruit fantasy. Juicy fruit fantasy, but boozy fruit fantasy, banana fantasy, fo, foosy fruit fantasy, fee, fi, mo, moosey fruit fantasy, juicy fruit fantasy, cake hugger, bo, bake hugger, banana fantasy, fo, fake hugger, fee, fi, mo, make hugger, cake hugger, it's just Zeffy. It's just Jeffy, bo, bits just Zeffy, banana fantasy, fo, fits just Zeffy, fee, fi, mo, mit's just Zeffy, it's just Zeffy, But if the first two letters are ever the same, I drop them both and say the name. I like Bob. Bob drop the B's, Bo, oh Fred. Fred drop the F's, Fred. Oh Mary, Mary drop the M's, Mo, airy. That's the only rule that is contrary. Magically malicious. Magically malicious, bo, magically malicious, banana fan, fo, magically malicious, fee, fi, mo, magically malicious. Magically malicious. I've got to scroll. Voltiel, but Baltiel, banana, fana, for Faltiel, fee, fa, mo, maltiel. Voltiel, the name game. Lovely. You know, I probably could have just looked at this thing here rather than that thing there, and I would have found it faster, but that's fine. I wouldn't even worry about it. That said, I do have some bits to thank. Thank you, all of you new subs, all of you resubs, all the subs. Thank you very much. I also would, if you all don't mind, just want to take this moment to thank you all who've just given bits. Atomica gave 100 bits and said, I'm here! And then also, Be Right says, a message from a player that doesn't have the range, Meg a phone, which I love, with 500 bits. And then also about Max Pooter. I knew his brother from Ireland, Calm Pooter. That is probably not what you said, but it's what, yeah, Calm Pooter, yeah. Calm Pooter is actually quite good with mathematics, as it turns out. But that said, I'm going to sing We're in the Money, as sung by Ginger Rogers from the film Gold Diggers of 1933, which means I'm going to sing it in Pig Latin. So, it'll be, I think I want to sing it in Oppish, but I can't, but I'm going to. I'm going to sing in Oppish, because when I was, the book that I had as a kid so I'm going to sing in Oppish, and it'll be really bad. So, it actually is it's not going to fit. So I'm going to sing in Oppish, and then I'll probably just go back to singing it in Pig Latin, because Oppish is going to be a disaster. So, yeah, it's going to be really bad, actually. It's great. It's going to be real bad. It's going to be really bad. Okay. So Oppish is going to go like this. I'm going to have to close my eyes so I can see the words in my mind, so then I can translate it into Oppish. I'm singing We're in the Money, but instead of singing it in Pig Latin in the way that Ginger Rogers sang it, I'm going to sing it in Oppish. And I'm going to have to close my eyes so I can see the words, so I can do the oppish. We're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. We're in the money, the skies are sunny. Old man depression, you're through, you've done us wrong. Oh, we never read headlines about breadlines today. And when we see the landlord, we can look that guy right in the eye. We're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Okay. Wappa rappa inop top hopper mappa nappa yop. Wappa rappa inop top hopper the mappa nappa yop. Wappa vappa gappa toppa loppa top a fop. Wap hoppa top it top toppa coppa sop topo gappa top a loppa nop gappo. Wappa rappa inop toppa hoppa mappa nappa yappa. Top hoppa sop coppa sop arappa soppa nop yappa. A lop dop moppa nop doppa pop rappa sop soppa nop yappa rappa top hoppa gop hop yappo doppa noppa a sop wop rappa nop goppo. Wop nappa vappa rop rappa dop hoppa dop loppa noppa sop a boppa top boppa rappa dop loppa noppa sop toppa doppa yop. An up dop wappa hop nop wappa top hoppa loppa nop yop dop loppa rop dop wappa canop coppa nop loppa cop top hoppa top goppa yop rappa gop hop top inop yop yoppy. We're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Woo! Oh, okay. That was difficult. That was difficult, but I got it. So so here's the thing. I had a book as a kid, and I'm still trying to find it. Everything that I own as a child, my sister owns. My sister has, and my sister's not talking to me because I told her that she was being really, really sexist. So I don't think I'll ever get access to the things from my childhood, including childhood photos, stuff like that. But there was this book I had. It was yellow, and it had a bunch of things about secret codes. It talked about how to do it. My OBS just crashed. OBS crashed. That's what happened. I don't know why, but that is what happened. I find that odd. Anyhow, that's what happened. But I'm back. I should have told OBS it was being sexist. That's what it was. Thanks. My back gets sore really quickly if I stand too much. Thanks. So, Pig Latin, you take the initial consonant, put it at the end of the word, and add AY. So cat becomes at-K. If the word begins with a vowel, you add W instead, so apple way, right? That's Pig Latin. The book was called something like Code, Ciphers, and Secret Writing, something like that, something along those lines. I'm seeing if I'm trying to do a search for it on the internet, and I found a bunch of things that have those keywords in the title, but those are not the ones, I don't think. And also the book itself was old when I had it as a kid, which means I saw one that was from the like 89, and that couldn't have been it, because as a kid I had it, which meant that it must have been older than the 70s, right? So it basically, I suppose it could have been early 70s, but I'm feeling like it was a book from the 50s or 60s, generally speaking, and so I don't have it. But it was for kids. It was a book for kids, and it was not like a history of codes, but it was like, but it wasn't like I'm gonna sing, by the way. So, and I'm gonna do it in Turkey Irish, which will be even worse. Maybe it won't be. We'll see. I can't remember which one is worse, Turkey Irish or Oppish. But OBS crashed. I don't know why. Me. It's because it's technology. It's not a bug. It's a feature, probably. And it was it could have been that one. It could be Code, Ciphers, and Secret Writings by Martin Gardner. I should stop doing the things that are bad. It's one of the, basically it was, so here's the thing. It wasn't a kid's book, yes, but you have to note that a lot of kids' books now are written for like, they treat kids like they're super, not smart. You know how, like, for example, F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote the great brain books for kids, or the Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys books were for kids, but they feel a lot more sophisticated than some stuff for kids now are written. So if it's one of those sort of books for kids that's like codes for kids that were written like in the more recent times where they treat kids like they are 2 years old, this is not that book. It was a bit, it had a bit more heft to it. Yellow cover. It was a yellow cover. The thing is, I know that there was like a dust jacket, but I long lost the dust jacket. It was like a hardcover book that was yellow without the dust jacket and had black on it. Hardy Boys would now be considered young adult or older. I mean, it's one of the things that's really tricky is that we have changed our categories. Like, we didn't really have a category of tween. So, like, yeah, a lot of things, and the young adult category itself is a pretty new category. National Geographic. When I remember it was like yellow, but it had like black ink, like black on the cover as well. But the black on the cover basically had negative effects, so that like the codes and secret writing, I think, was in yellow. Sounds like the same one I read back in school, covered ciphers, Pig Latin, Double Dutch. Yeah, exactly. And it had it had information on Cockney rhyming slang, and it had how to make secret ink, invisible ink, and how to do like a basic subset Caesar. It taught me the difference between codes and ciphers, for example. It was like I feel like it must have been from the 50s, but I could be wrong. At least the first printing. I'm not certain, but like, yeah. I mean, when I was younger, I was reading Hardy Boys, Dragons. Right. Yes, Artie. And like, it was a bit like, I mean, The Hobbit was a kid's book, right, when it came out. Yeah, taught how to do belt ciphers. Yes, I think we might be thinking of this. It was a cool book. I really liked it as a kid. It taught you all about, I remember you like pick a code word and then put that at the beginning of your alphabet and then fill in the rest of the alphabet. And it also taught like some of the basics, very, very basics of deciphering, of code breaking, very basic. Like the frequency of letters in English, like E, like these are the letters that you should, look in order for frequency. Sent a cover I found at Discord. Oh, let me see what we have here. That's not the cover, but that looks like the dust jacket, so it could be. Like, and remember, I was looking at hardcover copy. So it could be the same one. It might be that one. Codes and Secret Writing. Codes and Secret Writing. What is in that one? Herbert S. Zim. No, that sounds familiar. Let's see if we can find the table of contents. So anyway, I'll tell you about Oppish, because that is the whole point of the story. Oop. We're here. Okay. Codes and Secret Writing. Codes and Secret Writing. That really looks like it's the one. That really does. Let's see. Linked. Oh, thank you. As a kid, you ever read the Codes and Secret Writing by Herbert S. Zim? This really looks like it for me. This looks like the one. Yeah, this looks like the one. Let me see. Let's see if we can find it. Hold on. I mean, I would find out. Oh, I wonder how does one read something in a CBR file? How does one read a CBR file? Oh, it's a... There's probably a PDF reader. That might be the one. If it is, I'd be very, very excited. So, anyhow, let me tell you the long and short of it, though. So the long and short of it is that they had this section on Pig Latin, Oppish, and Turkey Irish. And... oh, it's at Amazon. Okay, all right. I really feel like this is the one. I really do. I think this is the one that I read as a kid that probably started my journey that maybe end up being a spy in the army. This is probably the fault. This is probably what it was. Just gonna note it. Hardcover? No, this is it. This is it, everybody. This is the one. This is the book. This is the book, and I can show you why. Because I'm gonna drop it in. I'm gonna drop it in the Discord. This is the one, because if you go to Amazon and you look at the hardcover copy, that cover there is the softcover version. If you look at the hardcover version, that's the one. That cover right there, that's it. That's the one that I had as a kid, and that is also. I can also get it for $17. By the way, everyone, I'm ordering it right now because I would like to have this book I had as a kid. And so I would like to thank everybody for this joy right now. I'm finalizing the thing. I'm pressing the buttons right now so that it will arrive using this address. And, okay, this book that I had as a kid, this one right here, thank you so much, Max Ryder, for finding it for me. I'm going to have it now in a short amount of time. This is so exciting. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Okay, that's really cool, everybody. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, yay. Yay. Ah, that's so cool. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it turns out Hawk and I also read this book. My favorite random book purchase was a Dictionary of Imaginary Places, which I still have, which described places from fantasy literature as if it were a travel guide. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, okay. Yep. Comic Book Rare Archive. Oh, interesting. Copyright 1948. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. It really felt to me like a 50s sort of book. Yes. You read the paperback in middle school from the school library. Take that, Trooper Sister. Hey, be, oh, go get an Amazon delivery. Hey, everybody, I want to thank you for that. Um, Thanks a lot, because the thing is, there are a number of things like, like none of my photographs of myself as a kid will I have access to again. And just a bunch of stuff I don't have access to. And so getting that one little thing, that book that I read as a kid, that had a fairly, like, I mean, it's sort of funny how big of an impact that one little weird book had on my life in ways that I didn't, you wouldn't necessarily know, right? Because of course I ended up, sure, did I use it? The things I learned when I was running D&D games in the 80s? Yes, obviously. But of course then, uh, there's this thing that, like, so I, I became a spy in the army, and the particular position that I had, which was an intelligence analyst, also included a cryptographic add-on, which I didn't get to take because that was an extra school that you had to take, and I wanted to take it, but I had to take I applied for a couple different extra schools after training. One was the cryptographic, one was a different one, and they gave me I didn't actually apply for the. I got the tactical intelligence analyst add-on school, not the cryptographic intelligence analyst school add-on. The tactical intelligence school add-on was also very cool, but I wanted the cryptographic one. And the only way I could have gotten the cryptographic one is if I'd stayed in the army for longer than 4 years, and I got out of the army at 4 years. I was like, I'm done. But this book was one of those things that led me down that path. So that's kind of interesting. Krellin says, I imagine Trooper is having the feeling I had when I found the Big Bird music box plushie I remember from childhood was a real thing that existed and was still out there, even though I couldn't afford to actually acquire it. Yeah. Pick the wrong. No, it was fun. It was actually very, very interesting. And it was good. But I also, anyway, here's the point. Oppish, full circle, Oppish works like this. You add an OP, after every consonant of a word. So if in Pig Latin, cat is atke, in Oppish, cat is kapatop. So we're in the money in Pig Latin is airway and hey, the anime, right? But I was trying to do it in Oppish, which would have been wappa rappa and nop tahop top hoppa mappa nappa yop. Right, that would be we're in the money in Oppish. So yes, it is. Yeah. Plus, if it's a secret writing book for kids, you can use the codes in the tabletop game, and maybe the players will figure it out. Yeah. So that was what I was doing, and then the thing is, we just got another bits donation, and that bits donation means I'm going to try it again, but this time in Turkey Irish. Be right. I'm going to try this now in Turkey Irish. Okay, hold on, let me think. Okay. After I sing it, no, I'll tell you how it goes first. So in Turkey Irish, you add an AB before every vowel, right? If in Oppish you put an OP after every consonant, in Turkey Irish you put an AB before every vowel, so cat becomes kabat. So it would be... Wabba rabbit, abin, thaba, mabanabe. Wabba rabbit, abin, thaba, mabanabe. Wabba vab, gabat, abba, labat, above, wabat, abbot, tabate, tabac, tabacaps, tabo, gabbet, abalabong, Huh. Wabberab, wabberab, abin, thab, thab. Whew. I have to see the words. Mabanabe. Scabbies. Scabbies. Abarab. Sabane. Abold. Maban. Dab. Prabeshabion. Yabu Vab. Dabonab. Abbas. Rabon. Wabby Nabby Vabber. Rabid. Habed Labine Nabs. Babout. Brabed Labines. Tabadabe. Aband. Wabben. Wabby. Sabby. Thabby. See that. Laband. Labord. Wabby. Labook. Thabat. Gabai. Rabite. Abin. Thabby. Abai. We're in the money. We're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. I think with Turkey Irish, if you practice a lot, you can probably get it. Also, if you cheat. I think that Turkey Irish might get there, but, whew. Are we selling Trooper SUB's Miracle Tonic to cure what ails you? Finally. I think that the problem is, okay, so here's the problem. Hi, Vancouver by night. The problem is multiple vowels in a row. That's the problem. I think if you probably, maybe if you cheat and you'd go with not with the actual vowels, but vowel sounds, it might work out. The problem's always going to be diphthongs, right? My mind isn't linguistic, so I love the occasional question mark inflection, like, are we going to have the answer? If Shipper ever has to look like he's being tortured for a TTRPG stream, all he needs to do is try to figure out what the person is saying in one of these languages. So, hey, Vic. So here's the thing I was thinking about, right? So the question is, are you doing it by sound or, because okay, Vancouver, we're talking about weird languages like Pig Latin or fake languages like Pig Latin. So in Turkey Irish, it's supposed to be an AB before every vowel. But do they mean vowel as written or vowel as in vowel sound? Because if they mean vowel as in vowel sound, then it would be something like, so weir would be wabir rather than wabby rabby, right? Because weir is W-E''re. And if it's just vowel sound, then it would be wabir, abin, thabby, Mabby Nabby. Mabby Nabby. We're in the money. Wabbier, Abin, Thabby, Mabby Nabby. We got a lot. Wabby Gabbot, Abbat. No, not Abbat, sorry. Wabby Gabbot, Abba. Labot of what it takes. Above. What Abbott takes. Tabakes. I feel like with okay, so takes is a great example of this. I feel like if you do it by actual vowel, you would say tabacabas. But I suspect, since this is a spoken language rather than a written language, and it's supposed to be done in the moment, instead of saying tabby cabbas, you would probably say tabakes. Right? Right? You probably say tabakes rather than tabacabas, because I feel like with tabakes, you have a better chance of actually understanding what the word is. And then today would probably be taboo dabbe, rather than, because I don't think it would be just the first instance of a vowel. I think it would have to be vowel sound and maybe syllable, because I just don't think that if you're speaking, because here's the thing, this book is from 1948, right? And you know how we know, and look, okay, so this book is from 1948, and kids in the 1930s and 40s had a lot of extra time on their hands to learn weird languages like this, and people got pretty proficient, right? I mean, these languages were very popular in the 20s and 30s. And people got proficient in speaking this way and understanding it. So therefore, there has to be a practical method to get fluent in Turkey Irish, Oppish, and Pig Latin. Pig Latin is actually pretty easy, I think, compared to these other two. I always found that way back in the day as well. So I'm thinking, all right, let's just we're gonna play Disco Elysium, but let's think about this for a moment. So as a kid, I used to think about this all the time. So my first name is Stefan. And in Pig Latin, it'd be Effenstay. Pretty easy, Effenstay. And I think it's pretty easy I think that if you get used to it, if you practice, it'll be not so bad to decode Effenstay back into Stefan. And I remember in Oppish, it would be Sop Toppa Pop Hoppin. Stop Toppa Pop Hoppin' Up. And I feel like Sop Toppa Pop Hoppin' Up, that's if you do it by the letters on the page. But maybe if you're some kid in the 1920s, see, and you spend some time on the streets, and all you like to do is talk in Oppish. Maybe you don't actually go Sop Toppa Pop Hop. Sop Toppa Pop Hoppin' Up. Sop Toppa Pop Hoppin' Up. Perhaps you just go Stoppa Foppin' Up. Right? Maybe you would just actually have the ST as a cluster. And so rather than going Sop Toppa for st, you would just go Stoppa Foppin' Up. Maybe? Right? So Trooper would be Tropu Popperop. It's my current guess. Has ever gotten to the Reddit thread? Oh, I will totally do that once we start the game. And then with Turkey Irish, it's AB before each vowel. So Stefan would be Stabafabin, which I think Turkey Irish is easier than Oppish to understand and decode. And especially if you take the word look, which I suppose if you were literal, you would say laba abuk. But I bet you just say labuk for look, rather than try to do an AB before each of those two O's. And if you do labuk rather than laba abuk, I feel like it might be more understandable as a language kids on the streets in the 1920s would do, eh? This is my current thought on that one, so I'm going to have to, because there are less vowels, I think it's because, my thought is that when you do these things, the point is that when you are very practiced in them, right, so all three of these languages were spoken by people, usually kids or Ginger Rogers, right? Actually spoken on the streets as a secret language to talk to each other, right? So if it is a functioning secret language, yes, you may have to practice it, but if it's a functioning secret language, it has to be something that you can get fluid in, which means you're probably going to do a couple of... If it's spoken, you're not thinking about it as the written word. So I'm going to imagine that we're talking about vowel and consonant sounds and clusters rather than actual letters. Maybe Ginger Rogers was Forever Young. Also just brilliant. So if I think about the word Chad, right? Chad. Adche. Super easy, right? But actually, I'm already cheating with adche, because technically they say you take the first consonant, put it at the end. So that might be adk. But I had K, right? But I don't think anyone uses Pig Latin that way when they're speaking it. I don't think they just take the very first consonant and put it at the end, so Chad becomes had K. I think they would just take the first vowel cluster, consonant cluster, ch, and add that to the end. So adche. I'm a enfre adche. So if we're taking clusters, like sound clusters rather than letters, because it's spoken, then I think that probably Oppish and Turkey Irish will be a little bit easier, but I think that Turkey Irish will be easier than Oppish always. Yeah. Tropu Popper would be trooper rather than top rop popper rop. Ch is a consonant, but technically C is a consonant and H is a consonant too, right? You might break up stop to top say, yes, but Chad to adche because ch is a single sound more than sta is. Yeah. This is what I'm thinking. We're having a whole conversation about secret languages from the 1920s, 30s, etc. Probably 1890s. Look, there were a bunch of people who had a lot of time on their hands because we did not have television yet, and they did things like this. This is our life. This is our life here about this one. And, I just want us to know it. As I play Star Wars, I must Irfe and Akle. Fear. Alack. Oh! Roller. You just brought up an interesting thing, because you're supposed to use an rather than a if the word preceding it does not have does not start with a consonant. So do you say an? So akle is lack. The word lack starts with a consonant, but akle does not. So do we change our a's versus ands because of that? This is a question. It's because akle is a creature. Yeah. But also, the thing is, Roller, you should not only fear an akle, might also want to fear a lack, because you have a lack in your soul. It's a thing to ponder. Just... Also, everybody, the cheat is to the limit. Oh, you know what? I bet it's not making any sounds. That's probably what that is. Yeah. I would like to say that I adore you all for putting up with this very strange digression in... there we go. This very strange digression into secret languages. I understand there's something wrong with me, and I appreciate you all for putting up with me. Also, wait. Alicia Ferrado, what? Oh, that's just seems like a bot. Sorry about that. Now, I have a question. Why am I not hearing sounds? Hold on a second. Let me do a quick test. You might hear an echo. Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me do a quick test. Okay, so, yes, that... I'm going to change my mic. I'm changing my mic, everybody. I'm going to do it. I'm going to change my mic. This one just feels a little bit doesn't feel rich enough or full enough to me. I can probably EQ it to make it better. I'm going to just switch back to my AT23. Not right now, obviously, because I'm in the middle of the stream. But I've just been reviewing audio stuff recently, and I was like, I don't think I like this mic. It makes me, it cuts out all the bass in my voice. I'm not into it. I'm not going to do it right now. Hey, PB. Yeah, it just feels a little like I have bass in my voice, and I just feel like this is cutting it off. And I'm just going to go and switch mics. Not right now. PB, how are you? The cheat is to the limit. So, I've heard of many fae, but never an ear fae. Oh, ear fae they're very dangerous. So, by the way, thanks everybody for helping me find this book. Also, for some reason, I'm not... Okay, we know the audio is happening, so we must be quiet right now. Speaking of which, hold on. Let's, options. Volume's up. That's fine. All right, well, we'll find out what's up with this when we get there. Well, I'm well excited to hopefully finally watch a Trooper stream. Oh, well, you've missed me. You've missed my OBS crashing and me speaking in Oppish and Turkey Irish as well as Pig Latin. Speaking of which, those of you who are noobs do not know that I did this, but I did do this, and I feel like I should do it again. When? I don't know when. It would have to be probably after Disco Elysium, because Disco Elysium is one of my Mac games. It is a productive stream start. Okay, so here's what it is. I need to tell you this. Also, where are we going? So back in the day, I did a special stream. And that special stream involved me doing a... So look, everybody, I'm telling you, this isn't right. No, this is not right. Hold on a second. Give me a moment. Something is not right. I'm going to check. You know what I bet? Yeah. I see what's happening right here. Let me, applications. My sound's not routing. So, I wonder why that is. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I was like, no, that's not right. Yes. No. It was the visual novel in Pig Latin. Let's go here. I feel like we've just fixed it, everyone. Maybe we didn't. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Okay, so here's the thing. This should be coming out of... You know, folks, I need to see if I can get this going, because I want to hear sound, because not only can you not hear the game, I also cannot hear the game, and that's not going to work out for me. So let me double check. I've got disco, and it's going to Mo256. No redirect. Let me look at my Mo2s. All right, loopback. We're going to just do a little check. And then, okay, Mo256, how are you doing? This is my pass-through. This is, I'm using Chrome. Let me just very quickly... let me very quickly take my Chrome. Chrome is also through 5.6. Okay, so hold on. We're going to just do it real quick. Let me undo this. Okay, so hold on. We're going to just do it real quick. Great. So my 5.6 is running stuff. You all heard that. Looks like everything's good. And so now I've got Disco Elysium routed through 5.6. And let me just, in case, route Steam through 5.6, just in case. And then, also, I probably don't actually need to, you know what I'll do? I'm going to loop those through 7.8. Just, ba-da-ba-ba-ba. My interface isn't too hot. Give me one moment. What I'm going to do right now, because I'm a little paranoid, is I'm going to turn off my audio interface and turn it back on. I'm going to still be here. Everything will be fine. It's just that you're not going to be able to hear me for like 2 seconds. But other than that, it will be okay. Hold on. So I am back. You should be hearing me. That's great. We should be getting our 5-6 coming through. 5-6. Okay. Okay. That was fine. All right. Y'all, I don't know what it was, but let's see. I should be, at this point in time, routed through 7 and 8 on Disco Elysium, so that is fine. I'm going to pull out this window. Look, we're just going to work it out. We can work it out. We can work it out. We're back here together. Now the question is, so there should be UI sounds here, and they're not. So what we're going to do right now is, because I don't trust this, I am going to quit out of Steam and then come back in again, because all of that should be having sounds. And I'm getting sound everywhere else, so I feel like it might be the game/Steam. So we're gonna go and just bring it up again. That's what we're doing. So what I was saying was that I did a visual novel in Pig Latin, and what's great about visual novels is that they have text on the screen, so people who do not understand Pig Latin can know what I'm saying. They can read it. It's like subtitles, but not in Pig Latin, in the actual things that I'm saying. So I thought that was great, and I would 100% do it again. I should do it again. Okay, we're relaunching. I think this song was used in Scooby-Doo. The person whose website had an 1815 Steam packet drawing I wanted to use got back to me today. She sent me the website where I can see about using it. Oh, that's really cool. Nice. Okay, we're reloading, everyone. I hope you're all doing really well. I'm hoping we can get... Do you know I've played Disco Elysium for 112 hours? That's what Steam says. Is that true? I mean, who knows? Here we are. We are now in the realm of sound. I think actually it just needed to be restarted. That is my... That's it. That's all we needed. PB says, it's definitely been open for 112 hours. Yeah, and isn't that almost the same thing? I mean, sort of, maybe. Maybe not. Hello, how are you, Saffy Pie? By the way, I need to turn down my 7.8. That's too loud for me. There we go. Now I feel great. Good evening, good evening. So, we're here. Oh, I'm very excited at this moment. Oh, okay, so it's... Y'all, this is a thing that I haven't figured out how to do yet. I need to figure out how to sneak out without Kim being there. There is a way to do that. It would sometimes be in our journal, and I do not remember how we do it, because I need to have some... Everyone, this is our goal. We have to figure out how to go and get out, to be able to get out and about without Kim around. Not in a bad way, but because I need to do a couple of things, including hanging out with communists. So that's a thing that has to happen. And I'm not yet quite certain how I'm going to do that. So, anyone? That's what we got. Those wacky communists. You call yourself a detective, Dubois, with only 112 hours on the clock? And some of that, I think he was drunk. I have 1,150, this is Artie, 1,153.5 hours in Wrath of the Righteous. I'm already planning at least one, maybe more playthroughs when the next DLC comes out. I just don't have the time to play the same game over forever. How much time would Sherlock Holmes solve this in Roller 300? I love the game Sherlock Holmes, Consultant Detective, and that question right there always puts pressure on you. Not in a bad way, but, definitely in a suspicious way. I just want to talk to communists. So this is what we're looking for. We need to... So, here's what I'm thinking. Oh, I'm just going to report to Lena. Since we're here, I'm going to report to Lena back in the whirling in rags. And maybe in the process I can figure out how to... I don't want to be rude to Kim, right? That's the thing. I don't want to be rude to him. But I want to say basically,
It's good to see a familiar face.
The elderly woman smiles up at you, hopefully. So what I want to do is be like, I'm so tired. I'm going to go to bed. And then when he leaves, because I'm going to bed, then I sneak out without him. And I just want to figure out how to do that without being mean. That's my goal.
Thank you for doing that, dear.
Oh. She manages to smile for me. But where's Morel?
Her smile is weary. Earlier, the bullions has left her.
Morel still isn't feeling well. I convinced him to stay at Gary's to get some rest. I'm afraid the cold has really gotten to him.
She looks down at her hands. It's probably for the best. It's awfully cold out there in those reeds.
I'm sorry, dear. You've had to drudge through them so many times. Such is field work. A young person's game, as they say.
So, who's going to check the traps?
Morel will eventually, or we'll talk Gary into going back out, perhaps.
I mean, I can do
The
it.
lieutenant stares at his shoe, caked in mud. He doesn't say anything.
You know what? I've got a really high inland empire, so I'm going to take it on with undue we'll take care of it.
That really is too much, sweetie. Thank you for your dedication, but I can see you're coming down with a cough yourself.
No, I'm not.
Very strange. Why is she not letting you do this? It's like she's given up.
Lena, what's wrong? You seem different.
Different? How?
The half moons of her glasses reflect you as she looks up at you. You're not telling me the whole story.
I'm not. It's not that.
She doesn't know how to end the sentence. What is it? Good timing, Trooper. I'm going to go feed cats so you can get some feed cats. Kenny McMahon, she played Nancy Drew on the recent TV show, has been playing Nancy Drew games live on YouTube lately, which has been great. Oh, that seems really cool. Who was it? Hey, Hawkeye, or Rissa, or PB, or anybody who is vintage. Who was it who played Nancy Drew in the Nancy Drew Mysteries? Like, it was like Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. I think Sean Cassidy was the younger Hardy Boy, and the older Hardy Boy was... I'm seeing his face. And what was her name? I feel like she was popular in the 70s, right? Melissa Sue Martin. Thank you, Hawkeye. And by the way, who played the older Hardy Boy? Parker Stevenson. Thank you. Hawkeye. I appreciate that. These were all of the people. Oh, Pamela Sue Martin. Yes. These. If those of you who remember, they would also. I feel like Parker Stevenson was on Real People. Was he a host for Real People? Parker Stevenson? Am I wrong about that? But also, I remember a number of them would compete on the Battle of the Network Stars. If you remember, Battle of the Network Stars. For those of you who do not remember, Battle of the Network Stars, it was a thing that would happen once a year, maybe, I guess. Maybe twice a year at max, but maybe once a year, where each of the networks would field a team of athletes from the stars of their TV shows, and they would compete against each other. So, like, NBC would have, I don't remember which channel was on what, but, like, Ted Danson and Angie Dickinson, the people from Charlie's Angels would battle against the people from, it was like and they would play, I don't know, softball, and they would run, they would do like obstacle courses or whatnot. Relay races, that sort of thing. It was Skip Stevenson. Skip was on Real People. You're right. Yeah. Went on to be the original Baywatch. Parker was on the first season. Battle Network Stars was one of the best trash sports events of the 1970s. Yeah, was it a mash? It was a monster mash. It was a mash. Sarah Purcell, Byron Allen, and Fred Willard for Real People. It was a graveyard smash. And what's interesting about... So I'm going to say this thing. By the way, it's a thought that I have about the Battle of the Network Stars. That... I'm not saying it's different now because I actually don't know. But there are clearly some differences because now it's not 1970 whatnot, obviously. But what's interesting to me is that if you watch the Battle of the Network Stars, which was televised, we all watched it. Not all of us did, but, you know. It was also clear that the Battle of the Network Stars wasn't just for us watching it. It was also about communities of actors, right? So these actors who are on network TV, they all worked together. They all worked on the same network. They all would go and meet each other at the network canteen, having lunch between long days. Like, because like if you're working on a TV show, that's like 12 days, 12 plus hours of filming, 5 days a week, right? Like, it's not like film actors who do three months and they're off for a while. TV actors are working like nonstop all the time, except for summer hiatus. I really feel like Battle of the Network Stars happened during summer hiatus. Anyhow, so there's clearly a community of people who know each other, who see each other, right, who talk to each other, who are in a community with each other. And Battle of the Network Stars, remember, this was back when there wasn't cable. So this was the game, right? Like you were this was your family, right? There's a kind of a community for those actors in these networks, right? These sort of networks of community. And when they did these Battle of the Network Stars, it really felt very clear to me that it was not just about making a show for us to watch where we were like voyeurs on them, but also a time for people who probably talk smack, you know, after shows to show off various things they did. And it was like and they also sold it to us to watch, but it was a very different kind of a vibe. Yeah. All the actors with the most sex appeal, athletic ability, or did the most promo work got to be the Battle of the Network Stars, yeah. The 100-yard dash between Gabe Kapane and Albert Conrad was classic. Yeah, and like you might have... And it was also clearly a way for actors who were not seen, who were not thought of as athletic to show off their athleticism. You're like, you may not realize, but Tim Conway from the Carol Burnett Show was very athletic, or whatever the thing might be. But I think what we forget is that and I think about this with award shows. It's my thing I'm thinking about quite a bit. We see people, and actually this is also where I think sometimes people miss things about influencer culture. Like somebody who's big on YouTube thinks that they're part of the industry, but the industry is also a location and a community of people who see each other at the canteens and say hi or whatnot. Who have the same agent, who go to auditions. Like you go to audition to be on this show, and like you see the same people you're always auditioning with, and you're like, oh man, I know that person. Oh yeah, right. Like even when I was an extra, I was doing extra work pretty regularly, I would see the same people, right? There's a particular community of folks that sort of see each other, help each other out, say hi. And if you become famous on YouTube, you're not really in that community. You're not in the same community. You're actually probably making a community of, you're probably in a community of influencers. It's like a different community. Anyway, not saying one is better or not. It's just that you're not actually in the same, you're not in the same community is what I'm saying. Yeah, one of the best was Mark Harmon. Oh, from his Flamingo Road days doing the football event. Wasn't fair to the other team since he had been the starting quarterback at UCLA. Yeah. Yuri, Troy Baker, Nolan North. Oh, right. In the same way, like, yeah, right. Those people are in a voiceover actor community. Award shows are super. Remember when Guns N' Roses walked away with a dozen trophies, right? And so I think, right, we have to remember that award shows are about people, especially for TV, right? The Emmys and the Oscars are about people who are in community with each other, and they're awarding shows based on their expertise, right? So anyway, I think that we sometimes forget that these are people, human beings who go to lunch at a studio canteen and know people and have friends and community, and we sort of somehow think of them only as sort of, I don't know, symbols and not people. I don't know. Anyway, I was just sort of thinking about when anybody's like, well, I'm on Twitter, and also Suzanne Summers is on Twitter, so therefore Suzanne Summers and I are in the same, we're peers. Like, I am not peers with Suzanne Summers. She was on Battle of the Network Stars. I will never be on Battle of the Network Stars. Do you see what I'm saying? And I imagine it's different now because cable is a thing. Also because shooting locations have diversified, right? Toronto becomes a really big place for filming. George, Atlanta, but there's still not that many spaces. But I feel like cable's diversified things in terms of, maybe not diversified. That's not diversified. That's not the right word. Diffused. Has diffused things.
It's a strange feeling. I haven't really told this to anyone, but you are a police officer.
She looks down, biting her lower lip. Some of those events got wildly competitive. The tug of war, Hawkeye. Okay, those who've never seen the Battle of the Network Stars, they would have this tug of war with like the rope and like a body of water, I think, and you'd have these network stars from different networks because there were only three. There were only three networks at the time. Man, yeah. I remember the tug of war. It was wild. Super sus. Yeah, it was. Do you know what I was thinking? Long rope, water between was the final between the top two teams. Yeah, super intense. Something I was thinking about. It's a funny thing to say, and I don't know if I completely agree with what I'm about to say, because things are nuanced, right? It's better that we have more TV channels than we had before. Before we had 3 network channels, and then some kind of major local channels, and then UHF and PBS. It's better that we now have more channels because we can see more things. That's really good. I wonder who the first person to be considered a star on more than one network was. Oh, that's a very good question. I think NBC had Dan Haggerty on their team one year just for the tug of war. Fun fact about the Scott Pilgrim film. The Warehouse was a key venue for breakout indie stars. Huh. So I think it's good, right, that we have more channels. I'm like glad that you can find a channel that only does whatever the thing is that you like, right? But I think the one downside is that it ghettoizes a bunch of things, right? That's where Scott's band chose to perform. What I mean is, the Sci-Fi Channel. It's cool there's a Sci-Fi Channel, because now if you want to watch sci-fi, you can go to the Sci-Fi Channel on cable. Woo! But I think one of the knockoff effects of that is that there's less sci-fi on major network on network TV. Right? So like before, it wasn't like there was lots and lots of sci-fi on network TV, but I watched a lot of sci-fi on network TV. I watched V, Otherworld, of course, major syndicated channels like Star Trek was played. The WB had a bunch of sci-fi. Like, you could watch sci-fi on these other channels. I just think that what ends up happening is when you have specialized cable channels, then that programming ends up migrating to those channels, ends up not being programmed on network channels, networks as much, and not everybody has cable. That's a. I mean, I have mixed feelings about it. I'm not saying that like they're because the thing is, sometimes a Sci-Fi Channel gives you things that would never be put on a network channel, and that's really cool. Like, I loved Face Off, that a special effects makeup reality show, competition show. It was so great. I loved it, and I don't think that ever would have really been put on. I don't think that ever would have been put on the major networks, right? But I suppose what I want to say is, it seems to me that network television fare is much less diverse than it used to be. It seems to be mostly like police procedurals and sitcoms, right? That like there doesn't seem to be a lot of interesting or different stuff on network TV anymore, because it's now being sort of pulled out into cable channels. Yeah. Especially when Sci-Fi actually had Sci-Fi on it. Yeah, that was great, right? Not that I ever got Sci-Fi. We had the Space Channel. I miss We Play Music Videos, MTV. Trooper, why aren't you playing the game? Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm absolutely waiting, right, for the... Yep,
Do you ever wonder if some lovely story from your childhood is just that? A story? Or a dream? Seeing the Insulindian phasmid was just a story I used to tell people. I didn't really think about whether it was real or not.
But Morel told me you'd seen it. You also told me.
Morel's so proud of it. He always tells everyone.
A terrible sting in the heart. Regret.
You seem to really believe it happened. Doesn't that count for something?
No, sweetie. There's more to it than that. Morel was so eager to believe my story was evidence of the phasmid's existence, that I'm some queen of the cryptozoologists. That. And for years, his belief made me believe too. But now, we're both getting old, and he's still working himself sick out in those reeds looking for it. But what if I was just wrong? I think I was.
She shakes her head, still unable to meet my eyes. Oh, this is, awkward. This is awkward. Ooh. I stumbled across Farscape on the Science Fiction Channel. Yeah, that's what it was called back then. Yep. Oh no, you need to stop playing now because the cats are fed and I'm back. I do need to talk about the Reddit thread. It wasn't bad. It just gave me some thoughts. Because I've been thinking about this a lot. Anyhow, this right here, this is tricky.
The lieutenant opens his notebook, but doesn't write anything. He's hiding. These things are tough on him. Matters of love, not violence or deceit.
Okay, everybody, this is a red check that cannot be retried. And I don't know if I've got good suggestion clothes on. I'm going to tell her that her marriage wasn't a lie, and I can only do this once, everybody. This is...
But it has, hasn't it? A seed can only bear what's inside. The seed of love is black and oily. It has a taste you're quite familiar with.
I am so sad. Lying has gotten you this far. Why stop now?
Might be right, Detective.
She looks down at her legs.
I was a paraplegic before we met. He didn't know before I came in on our first date.
This is so sad.
If I weren't the queen of the cryptozoologists, if I didn't tell him that story.
No!
She has to swallow to relax her throat. It's keeping her from talking.
He'd still be into you. That's not how these things work.
Maybe. But then why do I not dare tell him?
She sighs.
I've wasted enough of your time with this drama. I really must stop talking about it lest I start crying and waste more of your time.
No! I want to make this right.
What you have to know is the Insulindian phasmid probably does not exist. Let us fools chase our ghosts. There are a million better things to do with your life.
No!
Are there? Some of the other things are pretty bad.
To hell with this. I still believe you saw the phasmid.
A true believer. Sometimes I still see it too. The real memory of it. How it was there. Not the memory of the memory, but it's so hard to tell the two apart.
That's true.
Rising, unfolding from the reeds on a hot summer's day, like a benevolent god.
Either way, I should go. Poor Morel is running a fever, and I need to get him home to Jamrock before we overstay our welcome with Gary.
Yeah, are you sure you don't need help getting to Gary's?
Oh no, thank you, but I can get there on my own. This old thing is gas-powered. And then a taxi home. It's not so bad.
You do that. I'll check the traps one more time.
Really?
Yes!
Oh, sweetie. Please don't get stuck on a dream. Take it from me and Morel.
No one can stop you from finding the phasmid.
Can I have your address just in case there's news?
Okay, it's 1113 Tabernacle Road, Jamrock, but...
But?
A sigh. She doesn't think you'll need it.
I am so sad I missed that suggestion check. I am so sad. The depth of sorrow in my soul. The rest of... It's been a pleasure, ma'am.
Likewise, sweetie. Thank you for everything. Truly. Even though it turned out to be a...
The sentence remains unfinished. She flicks a switch on her chair and the engine turns on with a whir.
A waste of time.
No!
A dream.
Yes?
Like that, she drives off. The gas engine sputters quietly as she gets to the doors, then pushes them open. Outside, it's snowing.
No!
We should go too.
I know. It can't end this way. We've got to find the... I just... I'm gonna drink water. I like her. She gave me a little frog thing, and she's okay. Also, I've got a bunch of skill points, which I'm very excited about. And I'm going to have to use them to up skills. I wish I could have succeeded. By the way, I'm just going to check to see if I have suggestion clothes. Because maybe it could have made the difference. But maybe I don't. If I don't have any suggestion, I do have a suggestion cloth. I don't even know what I'm wearing right now. Would that one have made the difference? Might I have been able to convince her that, like, her marriage is not a lie if I had that one jacket on? My police officer jacket? Was that one point the difference? I want to make her feel better. I want things to be okay. Y'all, I'm going to just heal my health by 1. It's a waste of healing points, but there's a thing I want to do. And the thing I want to do is dangerous, and it might get us in trouble, but I do want to do it. I want to look at our... Where is it? We have tools, I think it is. No? Where is it? Items? I think I just can do this. Left 3? No? How do I do it? I've got this thing. I'm holding this thing in my hand right now. There, we're going to interact with this. We might be in trouble. I should save. I'm going to save. Let's just quick save. I did spend one of my healing things. It's probably aspirin. We're going to do something dangerous right now, but Kim is currently here, so...
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
I'm going to slide up the hidden drawer open.
Without resistance or sound, the 2 panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. Inside, you see 2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
I'm going to pick up the ticket stubs.
2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revershall East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there, too.
Pick up the card again.
You stare at the card, willing your hand to move. It refuses. It's too much. Not a game.
I'll close the...
It's slightly,
Close
ever so slightly, difficult to breathe once you've done so. The drawer is locked. Blue ink drips from the white pages in your hand.
I think what I'm looking for, let's put that away, is actually here. This is it, everybody. It's the apricot scented chewing gum. I finished the thought, so I'm going to interact with this.
There it is again. The scent of apricots with a touch of cinnamon. Smells like the end of some distant summer. The surface of another planet or some ancient temple.
Everyone, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take a deep, deep breath. This may be a bad idea.
Bitter, citrus, sweet. It seems to grow stronger like a glow with every breath you take. Until a blossom of skin and flower petals erupts behind your closed eyes. Made of toffee, cream, and distance. You just had to take a dive. Feels so familiar.
End of summer.
The sun sets into the sea, but the water does not boil. Instead, it turns to liquid gold. For a moment, the world's store of precious metals seems to increase dramatically, and you are rich. There is a movement next to you, the shuffle of a small coat, warm like the evening. But when you turn toward it, there's nothing there.
Where did it go?
Why are you talking to a gum wrapper?
Ancient temple?
Yes, from the height of antiquity. A long, long time ago. Millennia ago. On an island of time you can never return to.
I'll put the wrapper away. Well, on the plus side, I didn't die. So that's good, I guess.
An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso of the hanged man. It almost looks like the electronic patterns inside a radio computer. Or
Not talking to him right now. Okay. Before we talk about Reddit, we've got to figure out how to
Yes?
tell me about the case again.
What do you want to know?
Actually, I have all I need for now. Okay, so, all right. Here's what it is. I feel like I've got to figure out how to convince him to. Okay, how about if I go up to the Whirling Rags, right, and then I go to the room. Oh, there's music. Did you hear that?
the door is closed.
I'll leave. Okay, so the question becomes, how do I convince him that I need to go to bed and he should leave?
Yes?
You seem to be following me.
Excuse me?
Nothing. Just an observation.
You have a distinctive way of walking. If I were to walk in front of you, we would surely collide.
Oh, what do you mean by distinctive?
I hope you don't take this the wrong way. It's
Yeah.
just a collegial observation. In the 57th, we call it the Jamrock Shuffle.
Oh.
Officers from Jamrock's 41st Precinct tend to move a bit erratically.
Oh, well, how's that?
They say it's a scene-clearing technique developed by one of your lieutenants for gathering evidence. It's erratic, yet thorough. Prioritizes containers.
That's true, I love containers.
Yes, but containers contain things.
Yes,
Shiny things. They're interesting.
I know. Okay, then.
He's simply not. Passing along frivolous interdepartmental stereotypes is not usually his oeuvre. He regrets bringing it up.
No, I don't mind. Okay, how do I get him to leave without being mean because he's my pal, but I cannot bring him to the communist meeting, and the communist meeting's in 2 hours? Everybody, we need thoughts on this one. Let's see, because it's tonight. The communist meeting is tonight. Talk to Joyce. I need to go to this meeting at 10. Do I have to wait until after 9 o'clock? Is that what it is? That's it, right? I just have to wait till after 9 o'clock and then he'll go to bed himself? That's it. I feel like... No, I can't be mean to him. Yeah, okay, he has a bedtime. We just have to wait till 9, and then it'll be fine. That's it. Okay, I feel like we're okay. This is it. We're just gonna Oh, hey, hold on a second. You, as a functional psychotic addict, don't. Yeah, I feel like, no. Isn't the whole point of the game to be mean, though? No, that's... Oh,
Kim
what's happening?
also tries not to look at the pile of taped viscera on the carpet, or the weird suitcase on the hat rack, or the potted plant dying in the corner. But it's all just too morbid to ignore.
Hey, I'm doing
The
better.
man is finding it hard not to trip on the tape, and not to send any of the bottles rolling across the floor.
Is he embarrassed to be in my room?
The unidentifiable sludge makes it hard for him to breathe. Smells of vomit in here.
I don't think I've ever brought him into my room before. I'm going to say I'm sorry for this.
No problem, officer.
He takes a step towards the door like he'd like to leave. But he doesn't leave. Since my friend is here with me, I'm going to go look at... Words fail to describe how rank it smells in here. They should have sent a poet. I'm going to look at the mirror. Wait. before I do, I have clothing I can wear for this, right? Because this is a thing. So there is I think it's insight, maybe. It's what is it? It's hold on. It's the mirror. The mirror's encyclopedia. Well, never brought him to your room? Brown chicken, brown cow. So I think it's probably a bad idea, but I think we're going to go and spend a point on encyclopedia. And we're going to look at the mirror with him here. And we now have access to some things we didn't have before. This one right here, for example, we're going to put on all of our encyclopedia clothes and get rid of the non-encyclopedia clothes. And maybe... And look, I just would prefer to do this when he's here because I feel like, what if I freak out? Yeah, so I don't want to freak out, so I'm going to just have him here when I look in the mirror. Because what if I freak out? I think I'm going to need him here in case. So I'll put on these glasses. I'm going to quick save. Why? I don't know. Here we go. He's here. We're in the same room. Gonna do it.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. It's barely covered in steam anymore. It's your face in the mirror, adorned with the expression.
Hey, Prax. Okay. I'm going to try to figure out what the expression is. I hope I don't die. All right, everybody. And then I'm going to talk about Reddit.
It belongs in the new, the third decade of the current century.
Okay.
Enough time had passed from the failure of the revolution that, for a fleeting moment, free market economy seemed like the ultimate, uncontested way of life for our species.
Prax, how you doing? By the way, if y'all have not followed Prax yet, why not? You totally should. Streamer, Praxagora the Smophoria. Boop. If you haven't, you should. Oh, okay. Whew. My goodness. Then I'll tell you about the Reddit thread.
Things were good. It was smooth sailing. People made gold and champagne-tinted interiors and facades to suit the times, calling this the new style. But more importantly, disco happened.
In the 30s? Yeah.
Forget about ostentatious orchestrations. For Revachol, your city, that meant only one thing. Guillaume Lamillion.
Guillaume Lamillion, best disco artist.
Out of the dazzling swirl of disco music, in an open-air boîte de nuit, somewhere in Revachol West, Guillaume's blonde mane appeared on the screen. He sang some bullshit. Then he made the expression.
Turn it up for you. Okay. So this is an expression from Guillaume Lemillion. Guillaume Lemillion. So I adopted it. Why? I feel the need to add a clicking sound when I make it. Click, click. How long ago was the new? So I adopted it. Why?
Everyone loved it. Maybe you thought some of the stardust would rub off on you. Maybe it did. Either way, it's all gone now. Only the grimace remains.
I feel the need to add a clicking sound when I make it. Click, click.
The click is used to spur on a horse.
Oh.
It also features heavily in Guillaume Lamillion's regional mega hit, Don't Worry, Your Pretty Little Head.
Regional mega hits, everybody. When I lived in Germany, there were a number of regional mega hits. They were huge in Germany, but really nowhere else, etc.
Sometimes you like to add finger pistols to the mix because, unlike Guillaume Le Million, you are a police officer. It's your nifty little way to say, I'm armed and dangerous.
People who are old enough, there was a song that was a big hit in Germany in the 90s that was in English, although I don't actually think the group was an English-speaking group, although people thought they were. It was the Lemon Tree. Hanging my head up and down, running around, and all I ever see is a yellow lemon tree. Ba-da-ba-ba. It wasn't Nana Cherry. Does anybody remember that song? It was it's this little yellow lemon tree song. Am I the only one? 90s hit Lemon Tree. Yep. Is that the one? Fool's Garden, Lemon Tree? Yeah, okay. This is it. The band was a German band. Fool's Garden was a German band. The song was called Lemon Tree. It was from 1995. And it was an international hit. In 96, reached number 26 in the UK singles chart. Remained number 1 for 4 weeks in Germany. I heard it all the time. Also reached number 1 in Austria, Iceland, Norway, and Sweden. I only remember a little yellow submarine or a little yellow spotted bikini. That was a itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini. Yeah, Wizard's like, I don't remember it, but I was 8 when it came out. Thanks, Wizard. It might have been on the radio a lot then, but I have absolutely no recollection. Yeah, so that was a song that I think people thought that they were an American band, but they were not. They were German. Anyway, that was a song that was big at the time. Just noting it. Anyway, how people don't remember these things because somebody was 8. That's fine. How long ago was the new?
There is a vast ocean of time between right now and the expression looking good on you or anyone.
Oh.
2 decades, if the calendar is to be trusted. Humanity has run aground in that time. It's a different world now. The expression is a relic.
Is it? Is it? Because, is that true? Does this have anything to do with ostentatious orchestrations?
Not really. Oh must have just stirred your mind. They're more like a disco rock band anyway.
That makes sense. Krillin's like, I don't remember these things because I wasn't in Germany then. I know. And Artie's never been to Germany. I know, but it's just interesting. That's why I thought about it, because of the mega regional hit. Thinking about how things could be so big, right? Because I lived in Germany in the 90s, and so I would get German hits, of course, but also some Italian, like some continental European hits, like Eros Ramazzotti was really big. Zucchero Fornaci was really big. Gianna Nannini wasn't as big in the 90s, but she was pretty big in the 80s. There's just these like bands, many of them don't sing in English, that just never make it to the US at all. And there's some really great music, but you just are not going to hear it because we, until more recently, just did not play stuff that wasn't in English. And these groups were huge, you know, like Die Ärzte or Tic-Tac-Toe or Peter Maffay. There were all these German bands that were so huge, like really big. Herbert Grönemeyer, just like what was her name? Patricia Kaas, Nana Mouskouri. Nana Mouskouri is Greek and she's huge. She's like really big. Like she's a massive, like, yeah. And it's just kind of, it's just one of those things to like, what I'm trying to say is I would never have known about any of these people at all had I not lived in Europe. And Nana Mouskouri, where is she? So Nana Mouskouri, Greek singer. She was born in 1934. My goodness, she's 89 years old. What? She started making hits in 58. Oh, she looks like she must have. She's still doing stuff, but she sang a bunch of different languages. She's apparently a politician. She has released over 200 albums, Nana Mouskouri, in at least 12 languages, including Greek, French, English, German, Dutch, Portuguese, Italian, Japanese, Spanish, Hebrew, Welsh, Mandarin, and also Corsican. So she was this massive star, but I had never heard of her growing up in the US at all. I go to Europe and then I hear about Nana Mouskouri and I was like, oh, that's somebody I probably should have known about. But the United States, for all of its largeness, can be so provincial sometimes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Roller says, I've never been to Europe, yet I want to. It's very interesting. I think it's really healthy and positive for people to go to other countries. And I think it really helps put your own country in perspectives that you will never get it. Like, I think it's really important to travel within your own country to different regions in your own country so you can get new ideas, but then also go to other places. Yeah, I think I learned so much from it. I remember when a Romanian song was big because of the internet and a goofy guy was dancing. Oh, Moldovan. Yeah. The Numa Numa song by, I have it. It's by, Dragostenite, right? That's the name of the song. And it's, and they did an English language version of it. My colors fade to gray. I paint the words with every. It's like a love song, right? When the colors fade away, when you leave, my colors turn to gray, and now I'm singing every day. I remember like little snippets of the English language version. Yeah, I remember. Ozone. Thank you, Krellin. Ozone. That was it. Ozone. Tama was so epic it resonated in some small Canadian spots. I'm listening to Lemon Tree now, and something is stirring my brain. Wizard Styles, you might remember it. Because Moldova is totally not Romania. Nope. Yahoo! Hey, that thing you love, how are you doing? It is hot out there. I called you up on the phone, ring, ring. Oh, yeah. I called you on the phone, ring, ring. Yeah. Gee whiz. Gary Brolsma was the guy in the video, I think. Yeah, I think so, yeah. Yes, I remember that. It was I just want to say, I grew up in San Francisco, so I grew up listening to, like, canto pop for grandmas on public access. And, I heard some stuff here and there. But when I went to South Korea and then Germany, like, an entire world of music, worlds of music were opened up to me. Artists I'd never heard of before. American artists I'd never heard of before. All sorts of amazing film and television, some of it terrible, some of it amazing. And I just remember thinking, we tell ourselves we live in this like global economy where everyone has access to everything, but that's not really true because we don't actually. There's all this stuff that was like, that we just never got here, unless you knew somebody who knew somebody, you wouldn't get it. And I feel very, very privileged to have been sent overseas and been able to encounter all these things that I'd never seen before. And I really do feel really lucky in it. I mean, for heaven's sakes, the dissertation I wrote in grad school, my PhD dissertation was on a group, the Comedian Harmonists, that I only learned about because I lived in Germany. And my girlfriend at the time was like, oh, there's this band from the 30s, Comedian Harmonists. Could you go to the store when you go out to, I went off to work, and where I worked, there's a record store near where I worked. And she said, when you go to work, would you go by the record store and see if they have any of the CDs of this band from the 30s? And I was like, sure. So I found the CDs from this band from the 30s. I went and I bought them. I came home. She was still at work, so I decided to listen to them, and I fell in love with them. And if it hadn't been for that moment, living in Germany, happening across, having my ex say, oh, buy these CDs, and I was like, sure, and I did, and I listened to them, like, I don't, like, that was my dissertation topic. Like, at this moment, quite a lot of what has happened professionally was because I happened to have been stationed overseas when I was in the army, and got to see these things that otherwise I don't think I ever would have encountered. And being able to meet, like, the people from the Women's Royal Army Corps that I met when I was in Germany stationed there. I got to meet so many amazing people from different countries from all over, and people who have different ways of living, and living in Germany where you just stop making noise at 10 o'clock because it would disturb your neighbors, or where shops are closed all the time, where everything shuts down at the time at 2 o'clock on Saturdays, and all the stores shut at 6 o'clock during the week, and they're not open on Sundays. And or that time when I went to a disco, and it was a Saturday night. We went to the disco in Munich. We traveled to Munich, went to the disco, and we're so excited. And we get there, and it's kind of late. It's like 11-ish by the time we arrive, and nobody's dancing, but that makes sense because nobody dances at 11 o'clock. That's too early to go dancing. And then somewhere after like midnight, the coolest song comes on. I was like, okay, now everyone's gonna start dancing, and nobody's dancing. And I was like, that's so weird. Nobody's dancing because this is a banger. And I was like, what's up? And my friends were like, yeah, that is kind of weird because at this point in time, people should be dancing. And it turns out that Sunday was Busenbettag, which in Bavaria was a penitent holiday. It was a day that you don't dance. So it was a holiday where no dancing was allowed. It was one of those Catholic holiday where no dancing was allowed. So everybody was at the disco, but nobody was dancing because it was this one of these two maybe penitential holidays. And like I'd never encountered that before. So I just feel very profoundly, first off, I was profoundly changed by being able to really encounter and live in other cultures, and not just the big obvious things like, oh, they eat this different food, but all these like little subtle things about in Germany, the cars don't tend to have big trunks because people don't tend to go shopping for 2 weeks for an entire 2 week span. They'll go to like the local meat shop or their local bakery or their local vegetable stall, and they'll get food for like 2 days rather than for like an entire week. And their food doesn't have preservatives. And like just all these like little different, really small, subtle ways of life changes that really make you reflect on your own life. And I feel just so very lucky to have been able to spend decent, like more time than like 4 days at a tourist spot in various places to really learn other ways of seeing the world. And I wish everybody could have that experience. I wish everybody could have that experience. Yeah. There are cultural ways of thinking endemic to countries and continents that travel is always a valuable experience because it reduces the ability to other the thought or idea of a perceivedly faraway place. Absolutely that thing you love. Absolutely. And then it makes you rethink about your own things, right? Roller's like, can you stop plotting something against us, Dubois? Right? Krell, counterpoint. Traveling, especially overseas travel, is one of the most environmentally damaging things we do. I guess. But then that just leaves us with balkanization. It's easier to other people if you never interact with them. You know? To not care about them. P.S. This moment would be so much scarier if Dubois had shaved. Oh, it would be. I couldn't handle it. Oof. Sometimes you gotta be a heathen. Toyboat says, there is a new Max Fun podcast about popular music abroad. Oh, really? Send me a link. Put the link in Discord. It's always Catholics stopping people from dancing. And they call it the Flashdance holiday. But not the Footloose holiday. Yeah, it's Yeah, I also, that thing you love, one of the things that was really interesting is that I learned English so much better when I started learning another language. Like when I started learning another language, then I started really understanding English better. Tenses, cases, subjunctive, like all these things I learned better because I started learning a different language, and it put my own language in perspective in ways that were really interesting, right? Media musings. Put it in media musings. I think that's an argument for better transportation instead of less travel. And I'm sure there are probably ways we could travel that are less environmentally harmful. Also, large corporations, yeah. This is actually really interesting. I think about travel because this is relevant to Traveler, the game that I'm GMing. And it's relevant to Traveler in an interesting way. And that is, after the Second Imperium, the Imperium of Man. I mean, I did my first international move by train and boat. Couldn't do it for the second one because I had 2 cats move with me. But you don't necessarily have to fly. That's true. That is true. I took a train when I went across country. But if you bring furniture overseas, that's not coming by airplane anyway. That's true. That is true. Yep, that's going by boat. There was a thing I was going to tell you, but I can't remember.
You have some understanding of the near history of disco, plus the trivia you've picked up along the way. Episodic memory, however, remains in the dark. It may never return. You should prepare yourself for that.
Speaking of boats, somebody told me something once back in the 90s when I was in the military or overseas. I just talk to people. I guess that's it then.
It doesn't have to be. You can swoon over Guillaume and his champagne-corked smile whenever you want to. Maybe some of the stardust will return.
Maybe. I don't think I want to get rid of I don't think I want to get rid of the expression. I'm going to let the mirror be for now. I don't think I want to get rid of the expression because I think it might be important to get your, Guillaume Le Million on, I can't say for certain, but I've got a feeling that tonight's going to be a good night. We have a thought. Oh, I remember now. I was having internal chaos last time about the fact that if you get rid of a thought, you get rid of it forever. And so then I don't really know what to do because I don't want to get rid of any thoughts, but I also want to have new thoughts. So that's Guillaume Le Million. Whatever happened to Guillaume Le Million, who, with his amber mane and sparkling teeth, beguiled the tattered remains of the nation? While you suffered and suffered, did he dematerialize in a cloud of cocaine dust? Probably. Or did he simply stand in the corner and melt into the slendering new lines of some starlit boîte de nuit 20 years ago? Spare a thought for his great ass, too. Or wait, maybe he became a police officer in Revachol West. I really want to explore some of these thoughts, but we only have a limited thought space. This is very difficult, everyone. I need you to know how difficult my life is, because a lot of these thoughts seem to be good thoughts to have. Yeah, so I don't know what we're going to do about this. This is a real conundrum, and I just cannot answer that question. Yeah. Oh, yeah, so I remember what I was going to tell you. What this person told me was that, speaking of which, I feel like we should probably get rid of these encyclopedia glasses for something a bit less negative to perception, right? Yeah, because my perception right now is -2, and we do not like it. So we'll have to change that out some. if at all possible. Yeah, so let's get different glasses on while we're pondering what we're going to do next. I just want something that doesn't have any negatives on it, or negatives I don't mind. Let's put those on I don't know what I'm wearing. What the heck am I wearing? Who knows? It's a conundrum. I really feel like there's going to be a way. So what somebody told me, that's what I would tell you, was that apparently you can book passage on shipping ships, cargo ships. That it is possible. At least it was in the 90s apparently, that you can get a ticket on a cargo ship and cross the Atlantic or the Pacific that way, and it's apparently much cheaper. It's only one way, and you can only leave from certain ports and at certain times. It's like when the cargo ship is going to go across the country that you can get, and it's not going to be fancy. It's like no cruise or anything like that. But apparently, you can get pretty cheap passage across one of the big oceans on a shipping container, a shipping ship, a cargo ship. And I always thought that would be kind of a cool. Like you do have to. It's slow. Like it takes a while. And so you have to have the time to be able to sit on a ship for like a while going across the ocean because they're not fast. But I thought that would be kind of cool to do. That was the thought I wanted to share with you. I'm going to tell you about Reddit. Yeah, I think growing up with only your own language, you forget a lot of devices and aspects of your language that you don't really think about. But learning a new language often highlights those things you forgot or stopped thinking about. Absolutely. That's the thing you love. That's actually something I'm finding really interesting in 1984 is the use of limiting language to such a point that particular patterns of thoughts are nigh impossible. Or at least you can't articulate it to others. Krellin notes it's because I'm a hoarder and that's why my life is difficult, probably. I'm going to get their Reddit thread. Guillaume Lemillion probably had too many ideas, maybe? So it makes sense that expanding on gives you greater tools to express and perceive the world. Yes. So, I will now tell you. We just have to figure out what we're going to do right now because there are these... I think he goes to bed at 9, right? So I think what we should probably do is... I think what we do is head out, right? I'm going to just check we have like 3 skill points. We're doing pretty well. If I could think about our maps. Punch Clock Payphone, Smart and Butter, The Hanged Man, Stained Glass Window, Scattering of Bullet Holes, The Mirror, Trash Container, Map Wall. Let's go to the map wall. It's close. If we do that, that might not be bad. Right? Yeah, let's do that. Let's go to the map wall while we're here anyway. So, you can also get cheaper passage on a cruise ship if you go when it is repositioning. There'll be few to no stops. So, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that seems neat. I would do that. That's the main reason I don't take the train more often. Not enough time to get off from one place to another. I've been on a shipping vessel. Traveling on a shipping vessel sounds interesting. I bet a lot leave from San Pedro. Yeah, I think there's some that leave from Canada, like from the Maritimes. Like you just have to find one of the main spots where they leave. But I would be interested. Like I think that's interesting. So, but now where is this map wall? This is going to be our. We're going to see if we can find this map wall. Okay, so on Reddit there was a thread, and somebody asked, "What?" what RPGs are trendy right now. And everybody had their different thoughts about what was trendy, what wasn't trendy. And I had some thoughts about that.
The door is closed again. Nothing to do. You hear someone inside, walking from room to room. Whoever lives here must be back home.
So there's a map wall, but I don't know if I can find it. In Discord is a vid from a young lady who traveled by cargo ship out of Yemen. Oh, thanks. Thank you, 30. Okay, Krellin. You said that the correct answer is D&D. The correct answer is always D&D. And I would agree with you, but that is not what anybody said. Nobody said D&D. Nobody. Lottie-dottie, nobody said D&D. And, that would be the answer, right? Oh. Hello?
Give me a moment.
My father and uncle frequently cruise when possible, yet they're lucky enough to. The correct answer is Amber. Ultima? So, right? But here's the thing. I was like, but here was the conversation I wanted to get to. Somebody who talked about Brindlewood Bay. I have to not ask her that in front of Kim, because I feel like you're not supposed to ask that question about, the secret meeting with Kim here, so I will not. But what I will do is look at the bust of Kraz
A
Mazov.
plaster-cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads Kraz Mazov.
Wait a minute, I can't shave off my sideburns because I
Honestly,
need them.
He does kind of look like you after all.
I know.
Whoever lives here definitely shares your enthusiasm.
He leans closer to inspect the photos of revolutionaries on the wall. Father Mazov, hero of the working class.
There aren't many communists around, not after the revolution. Some youth still keep the ideology going, it seems.
I will leave. Ooh. Revolutionaries love to pose with their guns. They do, so they can show that they're having a revolution. Well, my friend, I wonder if, well, what's over there? Let's see what we can find. What is this? Moss crawls on those bathroom tiles. Actual moss. Oh. Hey, we haven't spoken to Kuno's dad. Maybe we should.
The aging alcoholic is still there, breathing. The air in the room is stale.
Yeah, let's leave. Kuno, man. So, Brindlewood Bay. I wanted to say something about it. I can't remember where I heard about it, but apparently there's an old couple that just goes from cruise to cruise on the same line because it's cheaper than a retirement home. They get a lot of benefits from being repeat travelers, and everyone on the cruise ships love them. Oh, that's interesting. Fuck you think you're doing talking to Kuno's dad like that? So, I was not talking to him. Just looked at him. Also, I need to paint this wall. It's also 8:09. So I think what we do is there are things that I want to do over here, but I cannot do them with Kim around because I don't think Kim would appreciate it. So I think what we do is head back over. Wait. I think we head back. There we go.
The sight of bullet holes stirs something in you, making you forget the lieutenant's surname.
Kim, look. No. Look closer
The
first.
faded marks are too degraded to draw any forensic conclusions. Just chips in the sandstone.
Wandering DM, I love you.
They look pretty ancient.
Kim, look. Bullet holes.
Where?
I point to the chips in the wall. Someone has been shot, so we're cops. We could solve it.
There? Those are old.
Whoa. Oh, you mean like from the revolution?
Yes, the one that happened half a century ago.
50 years.
Those bullets were fired during the revolution and do not warrant an investigation by officers of civil law.
Okay, but what can you tell me about this revolution?
Not much. I don't have a fresh perspective on it. Shall we go?
Okay. Sure. I guess. Quick save. Vulpes says, on a completely different topic, Trooper SJP, have you watched Love Lies Bleeding yet? If not, do it soon. The best modern noir thriller with amazing acting. Where is it? Where does one find it?
It is such a pleasure to see you again, officer. How may I head the citizens' militia on this fine day?
You mentioned Jean-Marie Beaulieu? Who is that?
Oh, sweet Jenny. She was the finest woman in all of Revachol. Maybe the entire world.
Do not defile her memory, Gaston. Let her rest in peace.
There's an almost imperceptibly small tremble in his voice. So you both knew her? Know her?
We knew her, all right. Lived on the same street our entire lives, just 2 houses apart. The 3 of us have been best friends since we were 4.
Huh. Oh, it's just out from theaters. Love Lies Bleeding. Who's in that?
She was René's first girl back when the prick was 16. They were courting till he decided he'd rather die for some great ideal than just be happy.
Uh-oh.
And then you stole her from me.
Okay! He jerks forward, but then grabs his chest and stops. Oh, ho. Easy, fellas. No need for this to get ugly.
Oh, officer. It already got ugly nearly 80 years ago when the 3 of us were just learning to walk and talk.
I love talking to old people in fictional universes. Kristen Stewart and Katie O'Brien. Oh.
You stole her from me.
Ed Harris. Love Lies Bleeding. Oh, I love noir. So about Brindlewood Bay, somebody was talking about how great Brindlewood... By the way, I kickstarted it, so I do have it. How great Brindlewood Bay was. Somebody else was like, oh, I don't think I would like that. And people were like, oh, yeah, but... So there was a whole discussion, right? And this is why, side note, I actually think that the threefold model, gamism, dramatism, simulationism, or whatever, is actually quite useful. Because these people were talking past each other, basically. They did not understand that they wanted fundamentally different things from their RPG experience. Both fall under playing a mystery game. Katie O'Brien was almost in the last group of Candela Obscure, but couldn't make the sessions, but she's in the session 0. Oh. So the person said... So Brindlewood Bay, if you do not know it, is a Powered by the Apocalypse game, although sort of expanded. And you might have seen her in a lot of shows. She's been cast as Butch Soldier type a lot. Oh, I should probably go and look up her name. Katie O'Brien. I wonder if I know her. Katie O'Brien. Oh, no, I do know her. She's in The Expanse, right? Right? Am I right about that? She's in The Expanse, right? Am I wrong? No, I totally know her. Where do I know her from? I feel like she's in The Expanse. Maybe she's not. Maybe I just made that up. Where do I know her from? Power Rangers is not offended. That's well, sweet girl. Oh, wait. Well, no. She was just a bartender in *Halt and Catch Fire*. Westworld, Magnum P.I., The Rookie, The Mandalorian, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Black Lightning. Maybe I know her from Black Lightning. Maybe. I have seen her before. She's not in The Expanse, it doesn't look like. But I know her. I've seen her face. Z Nation. Oh, Z Nation. That might be it. Yeah. Trailer. Oh, thank you for the trailer. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Did you watch the Crimson Mirror session 0? I didn't. I'll go watch it. Somebody link it so I can go watch it. Yeah. Brindlewood Bay. Brindlewood Bay. So Brindlewood Bay, based on Powered by the Apocalypse, in it, it's like a Murder, She Wrote sort of a thing where you play little old ladies who solve mysteries. But the way it works is that there is no correct answer for the mystery. You just gather clues, and then you do your snooping, and then when you're all ready, you make a roll, and if you succeed in the roll, then and you get like a +1, I think, for every clue. It's like it's a 2d6, and Powered by the Apocalypse rules 1 through 6 is a failure, 7 through 9 is a partial success, 10 and up is a full success. And so for every clue that you incorporate into your theory of what happened, you get a +1 to the roll, and you subtract the difficulty of the mystery. And so the players play. They get clues, and then at the end they're like, okay, we think that this happened. We included these things. You come up with your theory, and you roll, and if you succeed, you are correct, and that was the answer to the mystery. If you fail, that was not the case. But you also have some resources to sort of give yourself bonuses, so you can probably mostly succeed if you really want to. And no right answer. So you mean all the little ladies can gang up and Lord of the Flies who the murder is? Yeah, I mean, basically it's one of these sort of it's a narrativist or a dramatist game is what it is. And when somebody was bringing it up, somebody's like, oh yeah, I don't think I'd like that. I don't think I would enjoy that at all, because I want to solve the mystery. And the person was like, oh no, it's actually way better than what did the person say? It takes advantage of what RPGs are actually good for. It's not like, they said, in a traditional mystery RPG, what you do, you roll to find a clue, then you go and you beat then you have combat with a monster, then you get to the next clue, have combat with a monster, get to the next clue, then fight the big bad, and that's it. And so traditional mystery RPGs are nothing like mysteries, but this one is really like a mystery because it really does a whole the stuff, right? And I was like, okay, so I think what's missing here. Yeah, I don't know what traditional RPG this is, Max Rockers. Like, that's just not been any traditional RPG that I've ever played. I think a lot of people who don't like traditional RPGs tend to mischaracterize them, and people who don't like narrativist RPGs also tend to mischaracterize them. And I was like, and I was thinking, I did not respond because I don't have time, but I was thinking, Brindlewood Bay is not about solving mysteries. It's in very classic narrativist fashion or dramatist fashion. It's about telling stories of people who solve mysteries. Right? That's what it's about. It's like, I want to tell the story. I want to write a story of people who solve mysteries. I don't actually care about solving mysteries. I care about the story, the narrative of people who solve mysteries. And if that is what you want, Brindlewood Bay, I think, is going to be really, really good. And there are people who really want that. They don't actually they don't care about solving the mystery themselves. They want to tell the story of people who solve mysteries and do all the things that happen in like mystery shows. Because the actors in a TV show don't solve the mystery either. There's a script, they read it, they write it, they say it out there, right? And I think, by the way, I am going to have to run Brindlewood Bay since I haven't run it before, and I have it, and I want to see what it plays like. But I was also thinking that there are people who actually really like to solve the mystery themselves, and that is going to you're going to want a different kind of RPG for that, right? And you can do kind of narrativist in a different style. You can do it like Gumshoe, where you're going to get all the clues. You're just also going to get 30 more clues. And then your job as a player is to try to figure out what the answer is when you get all the clues, including some that may not be relevant. So it becomes about like the puzzle of putting the clues together, right? And that's kind of like a mix. I would say that's a mix of gamist and narrativist in its own kind of way. It's like a mix of those two things. There are like narrativist mechanics in there, but also there's a gamist, the gamist impulse that you as the player do the thing rather than your character do the thing. And of course, I think of something like Call of Cthulhu as more of like a simulationist sort of mystery. So I kind of feel like you can do mysteries in all sorts of different ways, and one is not bad. They're just different experiences. And I think each one is pretty cool in its own way. But if you have no concept that there are different ways of approaching the game, then you think there's a good way and then things that don't work. But it's not that things don't work. They just work differently for different priorities. That's all.
Well, technically, you stole her from me, because we'd been pretty close ever since you two had that falling out over the ink you spilled over her pretty yellow dress.
Ooh. Ooh. You'd love to see Dot, Lindy, and Pumpkinberry in that as like old ladies solving mysteries. Yeah, right. So escape room. Who done it? Yeah, they're just told. And the thing is, I think for me, the thing that gets me is that there's no need to talk smack about Brindlewood Bay or about Call of Cthulhu or about any of these things because one's not doing it wrong. They're just doing it for a different audience, right? And all of them take advantage of RPGs and the RPG format, but just in different ways. Like, none of them is bad. They're all just different, that's all. They all have just different modes. They're different modes. In the same way that reading a Sherlock Holmes book is very different from reading an Agatha Christie book, but one of them is not bad. They're just different, that's all. And I just feel like...
We were just boys then. This was different. You...
Me? The tall veteran looks at me and nods.
No point starting this all over again. For the 1000th and the first time. Especially when we have company. Officer.
What happened to her?
She died of pneumonia 2 winters ago.
Oh.
It was a quiet passage. Peaceful.
He smiles faintly. And Marcus's Vulpes. Well, so here's the thing. I need to, this summer, finish our Twilight Road. Right? We got the beginning act, the middle act. We've got to finish that last act. It's just that it's been difficult for scheduling, but I really want to see if I can get that group together to finish Twilight Road. And then I really want to finish The Sandman. Those are two things that I really want to do this summer. So, I think I've got one more thing that I've got to wait on to find out about. I've got two things I've got to wait for scheduling. And once I get... so the things I need to do is I need to figure out when the next season of The Gamblers can start. I suspect it won't be until August. Because people have got stuff going on. But I need to find out about Greg and his son going to college for the first time. So I've got to figure out when we can start The Gamblers. Because that will let me know how many Fridays I have to schedule other things. Including Sandman, Crash Jones, etc., etc. I also need to know when this one show that I'm doing theoretically every other Saturday, and it was supposed to end but has gone on for a very long time because they keep dropping sessions. And so I just need to know when it's over so I can start scheduling things on Saturdays, because Saturday and Sunday afternoons would be when I can do things like Cthulhu Confidential, Night's Black Agent Solo, Fireside Storytellers. Like, there are certain kinds of like short shots that I can do on the weekends for like 2 weekends in a row or whatever it is. I just kind of need to know. There are some things that I need to have information on so that I can then schedule. And I also want to run a couple of other things that people have been asking about that I'm really excited about, and also the arena game. So like, there are these things I want to do, but I just kind of need some people to like figure out their weekend scheduling so I can then plan, you know?
Honey and I were both by her bedside when she...
He pauses, searching for the right word. Star Ace. Oh, Star Ace. I did play Star Ace back in the day. I think I only got to do like 1 or 2 sessions. That was way back in middle school. When the group I was with, we would play at lunch, right, in middle school, and we burned through a bunch of different games all at once. But I only got to play it, I think twice, back in the 80s.
Died. No use sugarcoating it. Won't bring her back. Will it now?
Ooh. Clockwork Dominion. See, this is all about scheduling. When people have time for the various things. So I'm trying to figure it out. And once I know what kind of... Well, once people get back to me so I know what my schedule is, then I can figure out when I can when I can schedule things. Because there's a lot of stuff I want to do over the summer, because I know once the school year starts, I'm going to have to cut back quite a lot.
Departed. Until the very end, she couldn't decide between us. The most indecisive woman I've ever met.
Max says, I need to start running one-shots of out-of-print games to review them for Knights of the Dinner Table again. Haven't done that in too long. Oh yeah, that's great. And also, I really love reviews where the people have actually played it. What do you think? Why do you think she was indecisive?
She could never make up her mind about anything. What to have for breakfast, favorite color, or which one of us to marry.
The look in his eyes is happy and distant.
She was always leaving one of us for the other, but never long enough to actually get married.
Summer used to be my non-campaign one-shots for Call of Cthulhu in different eras. Yeah, right? And then you can do, like... And I want to do... Like, I've got some solo... Like, I got some new solo RPGs, and I want to run them, so I would like to do that. Also, I have 5 Parsecs from Home, which is a solo war game with campaign elements, and I would like to try that out to see what that... So there's a bunch of things I want to do, and I have not yet... I can't plan anything until I know what's up with that one game and that other game. And once everything's in my calendar, and I really do need to email some folks, once everything's in my calendar, then I can figure out where I can slot things, because I want you to know I'm starting writing on my book on Monday. This week is basically my getting everything organized sort of week, getting food in, playing Call of Cthulhu on Sunday, just getting everything settled and figuring out where everything is and where everything's going. And then I'll start writing on Monday. I also need to figure out, yeah. So that's what I'm doing. Elizabethan was my favorite, I think, or Stuart Air in the Caribbean, aka Pirates. Nice. Also, I got Good Society up and running. Well, the next session, which will not be this coming Wednesday, but the Wednesday after, will also have character creation in it. So I've been working on making a lot of assets for that, and I made a little bit more. I've got a couple more things to do. But I'm excited for how that's going to turn out. They are spicy as all get out. And I think it's going to be... nothing wrong with weighing your options first.
Heck, technically, we're both still engaged to her.
Oh my. Wait, what Call of Cthulhu on Sunday? Oh, this is an offline game that Rissa Coruscant is my GM for this Call of Cthulhu game set in Seattle in the 1950s. And I've been playing for, a couple of years in that campaign. We meet once a month, every second Sunday of the month, although we moved to a different Sunday this month. And it's been quite the time. And let me think. Yeah, yes. Is this a new book or the old book? I have more than one book that I'm working on, Rissa, so, it's hard to say. What, writing on a holiday? How shocking. Oh, Volpez, is there a holiday on Monday? What holiday is it? What's the holiday? Is there a holiday? I should look it up. Monday is the penultimate episode of Montreal Night. It's true. I need to get back to work on my Age of Sail module for Genesis. I was like 3/4 done with it when I lost the hard disk. Oh no! Oh, now I need to have backups. You just remind me that my hard drives are a little bit densely packed. I need to do something about that. Yes, indeed, I need to do something about that. Because I'm like 7 days late on my last backup, so I need to work on that. Yes, I took a break for a long time after that, ready to get back. Oh, I know exactly how that is. The minute you lose momentum, it's the worst. Also, I really want to run something. Also, look, I want to run something in the Genesis system, and I really want to run Shadows of Esteren, like, or a short shot. And I would also really love to get that crew back together for Daggerheart to run the next bit in the next iteration of those rule sets. We'll see. Oh, it's Memorial Day. Oh, is it? Huh. Oh, I did 2 Stuart-era Caribbean scenarios. One ended up on the Miskatonic repository. Loved it. Oh, nice. Penalty, penultimate, same thing. 5-minute warning, thank you, 5.
You're always confused there. Couldn't let us be happy. So Justa with your fancy words and pastries.
He says with heavy resentment, Hey. Pastries are delicious. Delicious. I think you would really like Embers of the Imperium for Genesis, Trooper. Oh. I have got... I don't know if it's unpacked. I need to alphabetize my books. I need to unpack the rest of them and then alphabetize them, but that means I do need to move some of that audio stuff to a different place, and I probably need to move some of these things down here that you cannot see that are music and art books. Maybe I can move all the art books to my bookshelves over there, which will give me some space. I've got to move some things around. I probably need another bookshelf. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. I love Genesis so much, or at least the Edge of the Empire version, so I imagine I would love the generic as well. Yeah, because I've got the generic, they're generic for fantasy, and also they're generic for cyberpunk. I really do need to run it. I need to run it. It's one of those systems, it's one of those systems I need to run. I have the dice for it and everything, and I really do need to run it because it's one of these major generic systems, so I have to know it. I need to, yeah.
He suddenly remembers you are still there, falls silent, and turns away.
Speaking of pastries, it's fine, everything's fine. Speaking of pastries, do you all remember, I don't know if you, where I grew up in California, if you went to the grocery store, which were at the time not big chains, right? They were like local grocery stores like Cala or whatever. You could buy these pastries. My mom would buy them every once in a while. They were in like a plastic tray covered with plastic, and there would be like 8 of them, probably. I can't remember if there were 6 or 8, but like 2 rows of 4, and they weren't very big, but there were these pastries. Usually they had some sort of fruit filling in the center, like a raspberry or whatever, and they would have streusel on them. And they were cheap, of course, and I'm sure they weren't like fancy from a real bakery because you're buying them store-bought from a grocery store. But as a kid, I always liked them. Any of you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about? If you need any volunteer players for Genesis, let me know. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, I think they might be in a box. Cheap grocery store streusel. Yes, I know about that. Yeah, right. Yes, right. I liked them as a kid. I don't know if they are good as an adult.
Of course, officer. Memories are all we have left.
Bye for now. I do need to find a stopping point to save. I think what I'm gonna do is walk back.
I like playing in the dark. Sharpens your nocturnal instincts. Feels like being on recon again.
There's some drama. There are things I could say to these gents, but I'm not going to because I feel like you know why. So what I am going to do is I'm going to walk back to... There's a lot going on. You know who I've not spoken to is my union guy because I don't want to. Because he makes me concerned and worried. I'm just going to walk back. Because if I do, that'll be a good stopping point. Do you know what I'm saying? We're just going to find a good stopping point, and that'll be it. I do need to find a way to,
The trap is full of locusts, but they seem weak and unhealthy. A few lie on their backs with their legs twitching. Still, no phasmid. Poor things.
Did I get to talk to the communists? Not yet. The communist meeting is at 10 o'clock, and I can't meet with them until... I've got an hour and a half, but I also cannot meet with them with Kim here. So what I think I need to do is find a way to, not have Kim around. And then I can go. I feel like
The
I just...
scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone while the other watches him do it.
Just, just seeing if I can, it's just like a little bit of, yeah, this is where we're going to end it. Because we're getting really close to where we can maybe chat.
Don't call, Abigail.
It's no giant crowbar. No, I'm carrying a giant crowbar, really. That's, phasmid, is that like a, I don't know if it's a phasmid, I think that's a,
Don't call.
Plasmid.
He's back. And thirsty. I got smokes and
Plasmid.
piss and a little speed to spice things up.
Yeah, no, I don't want any of that. Look, I'm not really talking to them. I'm just standing there, like, killing like a little bit of time. I think this will be us. I think that this will be where we end it. And what we've got here is... I think we're fine. We're very close to getting bedtime. We just have to... Okay. That's not it. Save. Done. So, what's what? Let's say what's what. What's happening? I'm sore. My legs are rubber. That's a true statement. In a half hour is Critical Role. Crap, I need to pick a game for Saturday. I finished Silent Hill Homecoming last week. Got that good ending. Oh, why don't you play... What kind of game are you looking for? What kind of game are you looking for? Even though I have Mercy killed my mother, it does happen sometimes. So, let's see. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, will be The Gamblers, our Traveler Pirates of Drynax campaign. Yeah, that's going to be a thing. Then stuff will happen. I don't really know. I like the horror games. Also don't want to spend the money. Then on Saturday at noon will be Rain World. Then on Monday will be the penultimate episode ever of Montreal by Night. And then Wednesday will be Reading Between the Lines, the Good Sis... No Reading Between the Lines on Wednesday. Check that. I'll be back here for Disco Elysium. I am going to be in a 2-shot of Our Brilliant Ruin that has not been recorded yet, but it will air June 8th and the 15th, I think. I will hype it once we get closer to it. And I've got other stuff. Some of it's being recorded. And I think you all are great. And I am going to... I am going to be late watching Critical Role tonight because I haven't done my workout for today yet. So once I get off of the stream, which is going to be right now, I'm going to drink my pre-workout shake. And then in 20 minutes, I'm going to start my workout. It's probably going to take me about an hour, maybe hopefully a little bit less. And then once it's done, so that's like 20, 30, it's like, yeah, maybe like 45 minutes. And then once I'm done, I will come back with food and be here watching it all with you all. So that's what I got going on. And I appreciate all of y'all, but since we're here, why don't we see... If you haven't played Inside, it's on sale from it. Oh. Well, I will eat dinner after my workout. So I'm going to work out because you don't want to work out on a full stomach. So I'm going to have my pre-workout shake, work out, grab food, then come back. So that's going to be my goal. And I just want to do a quick see if there's anybody really exciting that's on stream right now. I don't think so. Let me look. Who's online that I know? There we go. We Are Nerdsmith is online. We're going to raid them because it'll be nice. I won't be able to hang out because I've got to go, but let's raid We Are Nerdsmith to give them some love. And then we can go. We Are Nerd. That's not how you spell it, but that's fine. We Are Nerdsmith. No, I'm going to go raiding, but then I'm gonna just say hey, then I'm going to go because I have to. Raid command. This is our raid command. We're gonna give them some love, everybody. So, thanks for sitting with me through the sweaty times and the rubber leg times, and I will catch you all on the flip side. And be cool to each other. I'll see you. I'll see you later. Give them some love in the raid, and then catch you. Bye, everybody.